Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel. Today, we're about to embark on a journey through Australian numismatic history, a deep exploration into a small yet significant piece of currency, the 1984 Australian 5-cent coin bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and carrying no mint mark. Though modest in appearance, this coin holds more stories than many collectors realize. We'll uncover its full background, dive into its mintage and design intricacies, examine its rarity status, and evaluate its actual market value in the year 2025. Let's begin. In 1966, Australia transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to decimal currency. This major shift led to the creation of a completely new coin series, including the 5-cent piece, which replaced the former sixpence in value and dimension. Interestingly, the new decimal coins retained similar sizes to the imperial coins they replaced, making the transition less abrupt for the public. By 1984, nearly 2 decades after decimalisation, the 5-cent coin had become firmly embedded in the everyday transactions of Australian life. The coin had undergone no major redesigns but had seen several different production years with varying mintage levels. The 1984 issue is one of the more common years in terms of circulation, but that doesn't mean the coin is without its merits or value to collectors. The obverse of the coin proudly features a regal portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. This specific portrait, designed by sculptor Arnold Machin, shows the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This iconic image was used on many Commonwealth coinages during that era and remains one of the most recognized depictions of the Queen on currency. The initials of the designer are subtly engraved near the neckline, a quiet but significant credit to the artist behind the image. The inscription surrounding the portrait reads, "Elizabeth II Australia 1984, a clean, dignified presentation." The lack of a mint mark on this side confirms the coin was produced by the Royal Australian Mint located in Canberra. Australian coins do not traditionally carry a visible mint mark unless struck at a facility other than the Royal Australian Mint, so the absence of a mint mark on the 1984 coin is standard, not a rarity or error. Turning the coin over, we're greeted with one of the most beloved animal designs in modern coinage, the echidna. Designed by master metalworker Stuart Devlin, the reverse of the 5-cent coin displays the echidna curled into a ball with its spines and snout spread across the small circular space. This design is both symbolic and practical. It celebrates Australia's unique wildlife, while also being visually striking despite the coin's small size. The numeral 5 sits boldly beneath the animal, accompanied by the designer's initials. The fine detailing in the fur, the spines, and the claws showcases an extraordinary level of craftsmanship rarely found in coins of such low denomination. Now let's examine one of the most critical aspects for collectors: mintage and rarity. In 1984, over 43 million 5-cent coins were struck for circulation. Additionally, a small but notable number were minted for uncirculated sets produced for collectors, although these sets were not as widely distributed as in some other years. Given these production numbers, it becomes clear that the 1984 5-cent coin is not rare in general terms. Millions remain in circulation or have been stored away by collectors. The sheer volume produced means that most of these coins, particularly in circulated condition, are easy to find and generally hold nominal value above face. However, value in numismatics is not determined solely by rarity. Condition, historical significance, and collector demand also play crucial roles. That brings us to the next segment, grading and market valuation. In numismatics, grading refers to the condition and preservation of a coin, with terms like fine, very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated, and uncirculated, used to classify quality. A typical 1984 5-cent coin that has been in circulation for decades will often grade around fine to very fine, showing moderate wear, faded details, and dull surfaces. These coins generally have no premium value beyond face. Coins in extremely fine condition retain much of their original detail and luster but may have light wear on the highest points. These are slightly more desirable to entry-level collectors and might fetch a small premium. Uncirculated, or mint state, coins are the cream of the crop. These are coins that have never been used in commerce and maintain full design integrity, sharp details, and clean fields. A 1984 5-cent coin in mint state condition, especially those from mint sets, can command a higher price, though the premium remains modest compared to rarer issues. While the standard 1984 issue is common, there are occasional reports of minting errors. These include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and double strikes. These error coins can dramatically increase in value depending on the nature and severity of the mistake. Collectors of error coins actively seek out such anomalies, and prices can range anywhere from a few dollars to over $100 depending on rarity and visibility of the error. However, such finds are uncommon and not representative of the majority of 1984 5-cent pieces. In 2025, the market value of the 1984 Australian 5-cent coin depends heavily on condition. As of today, circulated examples in average condition are worth between 5 and 20 Australian cents depending on wear and luster, meaning they hold minimal numismatic value. Coins in extremely fine condition may reach up to 50 cents, depending on the buyer and context. Uncirculated specimens, especially those stored in pristine condition since minting, can be worth between 1 and 2 Australian dollars. Examples that are professionally graded at high mint state levels can fetch slightly more, particularly from collectors building year sets or seeking top condition coins for albums. Error coins, if verified and authenticated, can range widely in value. Simple die cracks may only add a few dollars, but dramatic double strikes or clipped coins can sell for considerably more. It's important to remember that coin values fluctuate based on demand, collector trends, metal markets, and economic conditions. But overall, this coin is accessible, historically rich, and an excellent entry point for new collectors. So the question arises, should you hold on to this coin, or is it time to sell? If you own circulated examples, especially those with noticeable wear, they likely don't carry much monetary value. However, they may still be worth keeping for sentimental, educational, or collection purposes. If you own an uncirculated piece, particularly one stored in its original mint set or protective case, consider holding onto it or having it graded by a professional numismatic service to verify its condition. For collectors, completing a full year set or building a high-grade decimal coin collection is a rewarding long-term pursuit, and the 1984 5-cent coin plays its part in that journey. While it may not be a rare treasure or a high-priced collectible, the 1984 Australian 5-cent coin is a solid representation of Australia's decimal currency history. It showcases iconic design, enduring symbolism, and classic minting craftsmanship. Its widespread availability makes it easy to find, but that doesn't take away from its importance in the broader landscape of Australian numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin offers both a lesson in history and an invitation to dive deeper into the fascinating world of coin collecting. The 5-cent coin. More specifically, we'll be examining the 1997 5-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, an issue that continues to stir curiosity among collectors, hobbyists, and investors alike. From its historical roots to its current market valuation in 2025, this video will provide a comprehensive breakdown of everything you need to know. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or simply someone who found a shiny old coin in your change jar, this video is for you. Let's begin by rewinding the clock to 1997. This year marked the 31st year since the decimalisation of Australian currency. By this time, the 5-cent coin had already become a staple of everyday Australian transactions. In 1997, Australia was firmly established as a modern nation with a stable economy, and its currency reflected both tradition and modernity. The 5-cent coin, despite being a low denomination, was one of the most widely circulated coins in the country. And it bore a design that had remained unchanged since decimalisation. The coin was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, who was then in her 45th year as monarch. Her image on Australian coins had evolved over time, but in 1997, the portrait used was the third definitive effigy, a regal, stately representation of the queen that conveyed continuity and respect for the monarchy. On the obverse, we see a right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Her head is crowned, with carefully rendered details in her hair, diadem, and facial expression. This portrait is dignified and calm, symbolizing the stability of the Commonwealth. The inscription around the portrait reads, Elizabeth II, Australia 1997. Flipping to the reverse, we are greeted by one of Australia's most iconic native animals, the echidna. This spiny anteater is depicted in a curled-up position, its body surrounded by sharp quills. The echidna design is not just whimsical, it's also symbolic of Australia's unique biodiversity. The reverse side also displays the coin's denomination with the number 5 in bold, just beneath the echidna. The coin is composed of cupronickel, a blend of copper and nickel that gives it strength, resilience, and that signature silver sheen. It weighs approximately 2.83 grams and measures about 19.4 millimeters in diameter. Despite its small size, the coin is finely crafted, with deep relief and precise edge definition. There is no mint mark on this coin, which is standard for circulating Australian 5-cent pieces. The absence of a mint mark should not be confused with a rare minting error, as most standard-issue Australian coins from this period do not carry one unless struck at specific mints for commemorative purposes. In 1997, the Royal Australian Mint produced a substantial quantity of 5-cent coins. Tens of millions were released into general circulation, making it one of the more common issues of the late 1990s. The high mintage was a direct response to public demand, as coins of small denomination were heavily used in day-to-day transactions. By this point in time, electronic payments had not yet replaced cash to the extent they have today, so coinage was still essential in every pocket and purse. These coins were widely distributed and entered the hands of everyday Australians almost immediately. They were used to pay for groceries, snacks, newspapers, and parking meters, an unremarkable fate for what would later become a point of fascination for collectors. From a general standpoint, no. It is not considered a rare coin in terms of circulation numbers. Millions were produced, and many remain in coin jars, drawers, and pockets across the country. However, as with all coins, condition plays a significant role. A heavily worn 1997 5-cent piece is of little interest to collectors and is worth little more than its face value. But uncirculated coins, especially those pulled straight from mint rolls, can fetch a small premium. Coins that have been graded and encapsulated by professional coin grading services are more valuable. A 1997 5-cent coin graded in mint state, such as MS 65 or higher, can be worth significantly more than its face value, especially if it shows strong strike detail, luster, and minimal surface marks. Furthermore, any discovered error coins from this year, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws, can significantly boost the coin's value. These error coins are scarce and must be authenticated by a trusted authority before value can be determined. As of 2025, the majority of 1997 Australian 5-cent coins still in circulation are valued at their face value, 5 cents. However, collectors are willing to pay slightly more for coins in exceptional condition. Uncirculated examples, especially those stored in original mint packaging or found in mint rolls, can be sold to collectors for anywhere from 50 cents to over $1 depending on grade, demand, and presentation. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified as high mint state examples, particularly MS 66, MS 67 and above, may be listed for even higher prices in online auctions, coin shows, and private sales. While this is not common, there are always niche collectors willing to pay a premium for top-tier examples to complete their year sets or showcase cabinets. That said, despite the buzz that sometimes surrounds older coins, it is important to remain realistic. The 1997 5-cent coin is not a hidden treasure worth thousands. It is not rare in the traditional sense. But its value as a collectible, especially in pristine condition, should not be dismissed outright. The 1997 5-cent coin is a cultural artifact. It reflects a time when coinage still played a central role in everyday life. It reminds us of a monarch who presided over decades of Australian history. It features a native animal that is uniquely Australian. And it's a piece of a broader collection that tells the story of Australia's currency evolution. Collectors who are building a complete year set of Australian decimal coins will certainly need a 1997 5-cent piece in top condition. And others may collect them simply for their design, nostalgic connection, or interest in Queen Elizabeth's numismatic legacy. There are also beginner collectors and students who look to this coin as an entry point into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Its affordability, availability, and historical context make it an excellent teaching tool. To summarize, the 1997 Australian 5-cent coin is a common coin by mintage numbers but still carries interest due to its design, its historical context, and its place in the decimal coinage series. If you happen to come across one in your pocket change, take a closer look. Examine its condition. Look for unusual features. Check the clarity of the strike. You may have a mint state piece, or even an unusual variant. If you're serious about collecting, consider storing your best examples in coin capsules or folders to prevent wear. Avoid cleaning the coins, as this will reduce their value. And, when in doubt, consult a coin dealer or numismatic professional to get a clearer idea of what your coin might be worth. The 1998 Australian 5-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, minted without any mint mark. In this video, we'll immerse ourselves in every facet, from its design roots and historical backdrop, through production volumes, to an exhaustive appraisal of its rarity, collecting worth, and market value in 2025. Prepare yourself for a thorough, captivating exploration of this coin you've likely handled but perhaps never truly seen. Australia adopted decimal currency on February 14, 1966, replacing the sixpence with the 5-cent coin, a perfect match in size and weight, symbolizing smooth transition from the old to the new financial era. This 1998 issue features the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Raphael Maclauf. Observe her stately profile, adorned with the royal diadem, elegant pearl necklace, and matching earrings. The subtle RDM initials are carefully inked near her neck, an understated mark of artistry. Turning to the reverse, you find the beloved echidna, Australia's spiny mammal, glorious in Devlin's enduring design. It's curled into a defensive posture, with the denomination 5 hovering above and the artist's SD initials discrete below. The coin carries a copper-nickel composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 2.83 grams, measures roughly 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge, consistent across decades, underlining its timeless standards. In 1998, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra struck approximately 88.5 million coins for general circulation, a hefty release ensuring wide availability. Beyond everyday circulation, around 74,108 pieces were carefully packaged as uncirculated mint set coins, and 6,704 were included in the more diminutive Baby 6 coin sets, intended for collectors. Additionally, there's a rare proof finish variant estimated at roughly 32,000 units, offering a mirror-quality surface reserved for special collector sets. Given such figures, the 1998 no-mint Mark 5-cent piece is classified as common, widely available across all conditions, with the exception of the limited proof versions. Let's explore what collectors can expect today in 2025. In circulated condition, values remain modest, starting at about 15 cents for worn examples, rising to around $2.40 for those in uncirculated condition. Condition-specific guide, fine, F, states hover around 18 cents, very fine, VF, approximately 23 cents, while UNC, uncirculated, examples may reach up to $2.40, all depending on eye appeal and preservation. Stepping beyond basic condition, certified mint state examples in mid-tier grades like MS62 could reach approximately €5, especially when listing fees and grading prestige factor in. Premium examples, say, MS63 with pronounced luster, can command higher online premiums in the range of $1.50 to $2.50. Proof specimens, with their stunning mirror fields and frosted relief, occupy the top collector tier. Though limited in number and seldom traded, these can fetch dozens of dollars, particularly when graded or presented in original packaging. Key grading markers: sharp definitions of the echidna's spines and numerals on the reverse, clarity in the queen's diadem, jewelry, and baby hair curls on the obverse, crisp visibility of RDM and SD initials, and pristine, well-struck reeded edges. For proof coins, look for mirror-like surfaces void of scratches, frosted portrait definition, and absence of toning or fingerprints. These elevate both grade and desirability. Even circulated coins benefit from strong eye appeal. Avoid specimens with harsh scratches, cleaning marks, or dull surfaces. They can call off even normally available coins. In 2025, the market remains stable, no explosive price surges, but consistent, modest premiums for top-quality examples. The coin's familiarity works in its favor, drawing attention from novice collectors and educators alike. Its blend of numismatic history, enduring design, and national symbolism makes it a cornerstone of modern Australian coinage, and a must-have in any decimal coin collection. While rare in high grades, this coin doesn't promise investment windfalls. Instead, it delivers quiet satisfaction, easy to find, easy to enjoy, and historically meaningful. That brings us to the end of our deep dive into the 1998 no-mint mark Australian 5-cent coin. We dive into the remarkable story of a small yet intriguing coin, the 1999 Australian 5 cents featuring Queen Elizabeth II, a coin that, despite its humble appearance and tiny denomination, has sparked considerable interest in the numismatic community, from its origins and design to its rarity, collectible value, and what it might be worth in today's market. This video will take you deep into the world of Australian coinage and why this little piece of metal might just be worth more than you think. As we step back in time to 1999, Australia was preparing for the new millennium. Economically stable and culturally evolving, the nation was also in a period of royal transition. Queen Elizabeth II was still the reigning monarch, and her presence on currency remained a key element of national identity. The Royal Australian Mint was continuing its long-standing tradition of issuing coins bearing the Queen's effigy, and the 5-cent coin was no exception. In 1999, the coin was struck as part of the regular circulating series and was produced in large quantities. However, its significance is found not only in its circulation figures but also in its design, mintage variants, and growing collector interest. Let's begin with the obverse, or the head's side. Here we find the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This was the fourth portrait of the Queen to appear on Australian coinage and marked a shift toward a more realistic and mature representation. The Queen is depicted facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Surrounding her portrait are the inscriptions of her name, the country, and the year, Elizabeth II, Australia, and the date 1999. Now turning to the reverse, the tail's side features the beloved Australian echidna. This spiny anteater is depicted in a curled, defensive pose, its body wrapped protectively around its head and limbs. This design was the work of renowned goldsmith and coin designer Stuart Devlin. It's a bold and instantly recognizable symbol of Australian wildlife. Beneath the echidna's body lies the coin's denomination, the numeral 5. The intricate detailing in both designs speaks volumes about the craftsmanship involved in coin minting. The coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy, weighs approximately 2.83 grams, and has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters. It's a small coin in size but not in significance. The 1999 Australian 5-cent coin was minted without a mint mark, as is typical for coins struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. No mint mark does not necessarily indicate rarity, but it distinguishes it from coins minted in other countries. For Australia, such as during coin shortages when other mints are contracted. This particular year saw a high mintage of coins for circulation. Tens of millions of coins were released into the Australian economy, making it a common coin in everyday use. However, not all 1999 5-cent coins are created equal. There were also limited numbers of uncirculated coins struck for collector mint sets, as well as specially finished proof coins produced for presentation sets. These versions are far more valuable than standard circulation pieces due to their limited quantities and superior finish. The uncirculated coins were specially packaged by the mint and never released into general circulation, while the proof coins were struck multiple times with polished dies and blanks to ensure a flawless, mirror-like surface, often housed in elegant presentation cases. Despite the large mintage of standard coins, collectors have a growing interest in specific attributes of the 1999 5-cent issue. Condition is paramount. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, with no wear and brilliant luster, are highly sought after. Proof versions, especially in original packaging, can command significant premiums on the market. Beyond condition, there's a fascination with error coins. Minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets, can significantly boost a coin's desirability and value. While no major, widespread error has been officially recorded for the 1999 5-cent coin, individual examples with anomalies occasionally surface and can become prized finds for collectors. In addition, coins with unusual toning, especially attractive natural rainbow toning caused by chemical reactions over time, can also be of interest, particularly to aesthetic collectors. Circulated examples, which show signs of everyday wear, are generally worth face value or just slightly more. These coins are common and easy to find in loose change. However, uncirculated specimens, coins that were never used and still retain their mint luster, can sell for several dollars each. On the open market, these may trade between $2 and $5, depending on the seller, buyer demand, and whether the coin comes with its original mint packaging. Proof versions, which are far rarer and were made specifically for collectors, can fetch significantly higher prices. In top-tier condition, some proof examples can be valued between $20 and $100 or even more, depending on the market and availability. Exceptional specimens, particularly coins graded by professional grading services, can see increased interest. A coin graded at MS67 or higher can command premiums, as high-grade modern coins are relatively scarce due to bag marks, handling, and storage issues, and of course, any verified error coin from this year, especially dramatic minting mistakes, has the potential to be worth hundreds of dollars, depending on the nature of the error and collector demand. The answer lies in the broader story the coin tells. It represents a stable period in Australian history, a mature monarch at the height of her reign, and the enduring strength of national coinage systems. Moreover, the design and production techniques reflect a pivotal era in minting. The late 1990s saw increasing use of modern minting technologies, yet traditional craftsmanship still played a significant role. For younger collectors, the 1999 5-cent coin offers an accessible entry into the hobby. For seasoned numismatists, it provides a rich area for study, whether comparing strike quality, seeking out die varieties, or assembling complete date and mint mark collections. If you're interested in collecting the 1999 Australian 5-cent coin, here are a few things to keep in mind. Condition is key. Always prioritize coins in the best possible condition. Seek out mint sets and proofs. These versions hold more value and are often better preserved. Be aware of fakes. Although rare for low-denomination coins, high-grade or proof coins can sometimes be misrepresented. Store coins properly. Use archival safe holders to avoid scratches, moisture, and corrosion. The 1999 no-mint mark Queen Elizabeth II Australian 5-cent coin may seem ordinary, but like many modern coins, it hides its value in the details. For most, it's a common piece of change. For others, it's a time capsule of royal imagery, national pride, and numismatic intrigue. Whether you're just beginning your coin journey or adding another piece to a growing collection, remember that even the smallest coins can hold a wealth of history and potential. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, insightful, or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives into numismatic treasures, and don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your own coin collecting stories. Have you found a 1999 5-cent coin in pristine condition? Let us know. Until next time, happy collecting.